Five, four, three, two, one. Level up, level up, level up, level up, level up, level up, level up.
Be black, all right? Because the truth is this right here. Only person to call themselves black. Yeah. Oh well, my thing is this. Like I said, I do agree when I would say FBA say that we black, right? Because the truth is this right here. Only person who called themselves black was us. We know why everybody else wasn't calling themselves black. Just like we know when they come over here, why they call themselves black too. Now, there's two reasons for that. One, like you said, they know if they call themselves black, when it comes to certain benefits, they can get it. I understand that. Okay, we see all that. Then we also know the other part of it is when the police or certain people run up on you and they see us, they gonna say, okay, well you black. Now they should
wait, stop. No, so stop. That's not how they think, man. I don't know why we like. How do you know the mind of a white racist police officer? Like, yo, dude, you're talking about. Look, you went from black as a status, as a nationality, as an ethnicity, to black as a color. My God, it's Indians. You ever are you up north?
No, I told you I'm in South Carolina.
Have you ever lived up north? Like over where we at?
Patterson, New Jersey.
Okay, yeah, right. So you never. How long ago was that?
Well, I ain't been to Jersey since my brother died. That like 2 years ago.
Sorry to hear. Yeah. So did you know about the Indians? You know what the Indians here, right?
Yeah.
Right. How dark are they?
Yeah, some of them look like a boo. That is true.
Right. So when a police officer pull him back over to, he's one of us.
No, he's not one of us.
How? Wait. Hold on 1 second. Let me be this other one. 1 second, brother. Okay. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I knew. All right. My phone has not connected. 1 second. Let me connect my headset. And we're gonna have a great dialogue. Watch this dialogue right here. Because remember, hold on, let me click my headset. The guy?
Yeah. No, what I was saying.
Wait. Before you say that, because I want you to hear the double standards, the hypocrisy, and what's going on. Okay. You just said if a white police officer pulls over, and I'm guessing he's going to be racist. If he pulls us over, all he sees is our color, right? Skin color. And then he says you're black. But then I just ask you, if you're from Jersey, a lot of South Carolina, like, I lived out there. They don't know what we know up here. Like this melting pot over here. So so now you know how dark they are and can be. This chick just texting, not looking at. She just this illegal is just texting and just driving, yo. If I wanted to, I could have had a winnable loss right here, car accident loss. She just driving, bro, making a left. They ain't see me at all. Like I got the right away, by the way. I pressed my brakes for her. I could slam right into her and easy shmoney. Easy finesse. All right. Anyway, let me back up. Hold on. So, bro, what I'm saying to you is this. You just said a white racist cop. All they see is skin color and then you're black. And then you just confessed that Indians out here, there's a lot of them. I think Jersey and Smiles got like the most Indians in the United States. They're as dark as us, as brown as us, and light as us. So if there's any black and brown, it ain't the Latinos. There's no damn Indians. Okay, so then I just asked you, well, if police officers look at them, well, they say they black too, and you said no. Okay, go from there. Why would they not see them as black? And you base black off just skin tone. So why would they not be black and we're just black?
Okay, well, I'm not in the business of skin tone. Let's break it down to the phenotype. They may be dark skin, but the phenotype is different.
Wait. So you're telling me, all right, So, okay, so white folks are not racist no more. They're phenotypists.
No, they're racist as hell.
Yeah, but racist is a color.
Well, you might be catching it wrong from me then. What I'm saying is, when the police pull me, say they pull me over, right? Okay, I'm in South Carolina. They pull me over. Okay, they know that I'm
They know?
African descent. But if they pull the dude over at the store who dark skinned too, we got Indians down here in South Carolina too who run stores right here in Bishopville. If they pull him over, they already know Habib is not me.
Hey,
but
bro,
if they pull over a Nigerian, how do they know the difference? Unless he open his mouth.
How does he know you're Nigerian? All right, stop. Hey, bro, Puerto Rican. You seen Puerto Rican before, right?
Yeah, probably. Puerto Rican.
Oh, yeah, Patterson, goddamn. So, okay, so largely, are those Puerto Ricans light or dark in Patterson?
Oh, they don't. If you don't know, you'll think they
No. Hey, bro, listen to the question, my guy. I didn't ask you were some dark. I said the main body of Puerto Ricans in Patterson. Now, look, bro, maintain integrity. Because I will call my boy in three-way. He lives in Patterson right now. I've been in Patterson. My other boy lived in Patterson. Look what I'm asking you. The common complexion, that means on average, of a Spanish person in Patterson, is it light or dark?
Dark.
All right. Family, listen. Bro, you a fucking liar, my guy.
They brown skinned. I mean, you can tell.
Hey, dude. Hey, family. He's a piece of shit liar. The average Puerto Rican in America is light. The average Hispanic, period, they let over it. So you trying to tell me American prefer the darker Latinos over the lighter ones into the country?
No.
Right. So if there's Latinos in American family, they're going to be disproportionately lighter, like with the Indians. There's more lighter Indians than there is darker ones. America is a racist country, my guy. Color. They care how dark and light you are coming into this country. That's why what are we doing? I mean, again, I try to have an honest we just lying now. Family, the average Hispanic in Patterson and Perth Amboy, all the Spanish cities in New Jersey, the average Jersey City, they are light colored. They're not brown like he's saying. They're light. They're light. In New York. So you telling me right now, in New York, let's say Bronx, the fat Joes don't exist. The big ones. Yeah. Okay. So let's go there. So let's stay away from Patterson. I'm gonna get my boy to call in. All right, who lives in Patterson right now?
Okay,
motherfucker, you sure you're lying. All right, I'm gonna text him to call in. Matter of fact, he can't call until he's probably still asleep. I'm gonna have him call in about 3 o'clock by the time I pick my son up. But this line shit gotta stop. All right, so New York, the Bronx. The average Hispanic in the Bronx, Puerto Rican, are they light or dark? The average Puerto Rican.
They light skinned, bro.
Okay, yeah, cool. Puerto Rican. So now there's no way that a police officer would look at a light skinned Puerto Rican person and pretend he's black, right?
Yeah, no, ain't no way.
Okay, cool. Are you familiar with stop and frisk?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on.
Yes, I am.
Okay, cool. Did stop and frisk affect black people that's clearly looking like they're black, or did it affect light Hispanics as well?
No, it affects black people who clearly look black.
Here's the question, my guy.
Yeah.
Did it largely?
Black people.
Hey, bro, listen to the question. Did it largely affect those light Puerto Ricans?
No, it didn't.
Okay. Have you ever studied stop and frisk?
Not like that. Not on that level.
I mean, what level? It's just this dude. Is there a level of research? It's complete research and it's incomplete research. It's thorough research and it's unthorough research. So did you ever? Matter of fact, not like that. I got you. What areas? What did they call those areas that they stopped and frisked? What were they called, according to law enforcement?
Now that I don't know.
Right. So what level did you study stop and frisk?
Because I'm gonna say this: police harassment is police harassment to me.
Hey, bro, I'm not talking about police harassment. I'm talking about stop and frisk, all right?
Well, I don't know, because I'm in South Carolina, so I don't know what they had going on in New York.
So had you studied stop and, I don't live in New York either, but it's a study. You could read the shit. All right. So did you know on what basis? Matter of fact, do you know what constitutional law that prevents unlawful seizures and things like that?
No.
Fifth. No, fourth amendment. Fourth amendment. I think it's Fourth Amendment that prevents unlawful searches and seizures. Fifth Amendment is you're withholding your speech. Okay, so Fourth Amendment prevents it. Okay, so the way they got, do you know how they? Okay, so now you know a police officer just can't run up on you and search you. That's breaking your constitutional Fourth Amendment right. Okay, so do you know what they use to get around that, to have the stop and frisk thing even be a thing?
No, I don't know. I don't know what they did for upstate. I don't know.
Okay, well, where did okay? Okay, hey, bro.
I know what they did down here now, so they could just search your car.
Hey, bro, we're talking about stop and frisk, my guy. What are you talking about? We're talking about stop and frisk. Okay, so what were the main reasons a police officer was allowed to stop and frisk somebody?
I don't know.
Right. So is it fair to say you didn't study it?
Yeah, you can say that.
Okay. So now, do you know what particular crime led to a stop and frisk?
No, I don't know.
Murder. So a police officer, if they felt like you had a gun on you or another weapon that can kill somebody, a bat, a pipe, a knife, they were allowed to stop and frisk you. So family, so while stop and frisking you, if they found crack, they couldn't lock you up. If they found marijuana, stolen credit cards, they couldn't lock you up. The whole search was to search for guns and deadly weapons only. You could not be charged for other things that's on you. Only for the weapon that could potentially kill, right? Because they were trying to stop murders, not drug selling, not credit card theft, shit like that, not scanning, all that dumb shit. It was only for murders. So what happened was to avoid being stopped and frisked, people would have flat things in their pockets, flat things. If something was, you got a big cell phone, or like, let's say like a cord, sometimes you leave your house with a cordless phone, you forget. If you get like a big cordless phone in your pocket, a police officer will use that to stop and frisk. He'll say, "Oh, I thought it was a gun." To stop and frisk. So that would led to a stop and frisk. That's how they got over the Fourth Amendment. That's how. Okay. So that's called probable cause. I thought that was a gun, so I got it a search. But if you have flat pockets where you're clearly not a gun, they couldn't really bother you. And matter of fact, that's how it ended, because it was proof that they were searching people that had nothing on them in their pockets that could bulge like a gun. People had wallets, people had cell phones, people had stuff that was clearly not a gun, and police officers were abusing that, and that's exactly how it ended. They got sued, and police officers started to be held accountable. They were not protected, and that's exactly how it ended. Right. So, like I said, that's what I researched. That's my shit. All right. So second to that. And Latinos were heavily affected, my guy. Light Latinos. So I mean, you just say earlier I said, yo, let's have conversations where it's just the truth, ugly or pretty. Let's just have a truthful discussion. You agree to that? We start talking, your stupid ass start fucking lying immediately. Oh, well, Latinos had not been affected. You just didn't study it. Just lying. That's all y'all Pan-Africans do. Y'all just fucking lie. Yo, light Latino. So family, what I'm doing is I'm deconstructing this bullshit he's trying to present to you, that police officers pulled over people who look black only. No, they pulled over anybody who didn't look white. Clearly white. That's why the Latinos, Puerto Ricans got pulled over. They were heavily affected in stop and frisk. But right now, family, you guys can YouTube right now. Look, I'm in a store. Hold on. Come on. Where we at? Hold on a second, my brother. I'm in a store. I'm not on my computer. I'm shopping. You dig? Okay. So with that fact being known, my guy, everybody right now can YouTube Puerto Ricans right now in New York being harassed on body cam by police officers. Right now, very light Puerto Ricans it became a big story. So for this guy to lie to your face to say light Latinos were not being affected by stop and frisk, he's a piece of shit Pan-African liar who just can't have an honest conversation. Anybody can, it was a big story, my guy. Okay, so I said to say that debunked the whole bullshit that police officers were just targeting Nigerian phenotypes. You're fucking lying. A light-skinned Puerto Rican doesn't have no Nigerian phenotypes. And they were being stopped and frisked like a motherfucker. Okay? So you're lying. So going back to that, police officers just see you're not white and they pull you over. So now we know that even when the word Negro was thrown around, oh, okay. So now listen to Charles Miller.
I just have a question.
Yeah, what's the question? Wait, can you introduce yourself real fast?
Oh, I'm sorry. What you need?
No, just go by. That's all.
Oh, B.
Okay.
So yeah, so you mentioned you was talking about the Jamaican dude and him kind of being confused on his race because he said he was black, but I think people in general, and I hear people get stuff twisted all the time, especially on this app, between race and ethnicity.
Right.
Jamaican, him being Jamaican, just is his ethnicity. Just like we're Black American, he's Black Jamaican. They got white Jamaicans. You know what I'm saying?
No, slow down.
No, I'm just speaking. Go ahead.
I got you, but I'm trying to get some. Yeah. So there's no such thing as a Black Jamaican, right? You have Afro Jamaicans. They're called Afro Jamaicans. Black Jamaicans made up. You have Chinese Jamaicans, you have Indian Jamaicans, and you have Afro Jamaicans. The word Black and Jamaican. So you just said Black. You just said Jamaican is their ethnicity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's also their nationality, right?
Right.
So, and our Black is our ethnicity, right?
No, our black is our race. Our ethnicity is American and our nationality.
Hold on. No, there's nobody on earth ethnicity American. American is a nationality. That's why you have Nigerian Americans.
Right, but Black is a race, right?
No. Black operates as a race after it was first operating as an ethnicity. So you need to do that. Look up when Black became a race. That's after the 1960s. So it was Negro first, right? Like you said, people on TikTok miss up information. Well, I'm the guy who clears things up. So
you are,
yeah. Well,
you're the one. I got the right one, huh?
Got the right one, baby. So watch this. So now you just said ethnicity, race, nationality. Now I just told you Black became our ethnicity in 1960s. Do you know what an ethnicity? How do you define ethnicity?
I don't know. How do you? I can't put it in words.
No problem. And that's why I say you got the right one. Ethnicity, your shared experiences, right? So our culture, our language, the way we speak to each other, and our history in America, that's our ethnicity. So we're ethnically Black. Jamaicans got a shared history and is Jamaican, right? So they're ethnically Jamaican and so forth and so forth. So we're ethnically Black. Now we gave a name to that experience and we called it Black, not race. Not race. Race is something that
is inclusive to billions of people on Earth, and ethnicity is not. And ethnicity is exclusive to that particular group. That's it. So you got the Igbo ethnicity that's only for them and is not extended to the Hausa ethnicity. They got their own ethnic group. So ethnicity is the shared experiences, and you add a name to it so people just know who you are. We said we're Black, and we showed the world our Black experiences, which you could talk about Black Reconstruction, the free Blacks that was run, out of slavery before Emancipation Proclamation. We got the Black Reconstruction. We got Black banks, Black dollar, Black. All of our society and all our affairs, we named it Black. The Black dollar, Black economics, Black politician. See, so everything about us is ethnically Black. So Jamaica, so not race. I didn't deal with race just yet. So because nobody's ethnically a race, because a race is a both. Again, there's billions of people in Africa as part of the Black race. There's 1,000 islands in the West Indies as part of the Black race. So just saying you're Black doesn't tell you anything. It's a bunch of people who just fit that box, who are completely different and share hundreds of thousands of differences, right? Different cultures, languages, and things like that. So Black is a race, okay? That white people came up with in 1977, okay? So we're talking about the OMB, the Office Management Budget. But even with that, the race category is a racial construct made up by races. So Walter Plecker, with the Racial Integrity Act of 1924, had introduced race to cause confusion and steal land from the indigenous people. So he said, hey, you, which is called paper genocide. He said, hey, you indigenous people, you are no longer indigenous anymore. That's your ethnicity, right? You're no longer that. You're flat Black. But at that time, the flat Black wasn't flat Black because Black wasn't around. It was the flat Negro. So he made them the flat Negro. He said, hey, you're just a Negro. Now, watch this. Just the way Black operates today, the way Negro operated back then, that's everybody that's dark, right? So the white people went across the world. If you had dark melanin, you were a Negro. So again, like it showed no specificity. It showed no, it didn't tell you who you were. It just said, hey, you're this flat Negro. And they did that to strip your identity from you and what belongs to you. So by reclassifying them as Negro, they were able to steal their land on paper. You got it? So now in America, there's so Black was hijacked. It was our ethnicity. Our government went behind our back and made it a race. And so that became the new race, replacing Negro. And then now we thinking, okay, what does that mean? Because we're the only people in America at that time who can represent Black. We're 99.9% of anybody who can say they're Black, racially, or of African descent. We're the only people in the country at that time. 99.9. The representation of Jamaicans was like below 1%, like 0.0 something crazy. But they were not. There was no huge representation of them at all. Like so, it wasn't even thought of. So you said Black people at that time, we were the only thought in anybody's mind for 30 years. Okay, because the mass influx of these people, these West Indians and Africans didn't come until like 2000, like 2010, when it came like in the millions. So they always had a insignificant presence where they wouldn't even consider. When we said Black, they wouldn't even consider. It was so small numbers, they wouldn't consider. So for us, we felt like racially Black meant something exclusive. We were unaware that it was very inclusive to everybody that got melanin, right? So, but we still operated it as an ethnicity. Like I said, we call all our affairs Black. So now it's a race because white people created it and said it's a race. Racist people said it was race. But this is hindsight. Nobody has the right to tell you what you are from afar, right? Europeans just can't go around calling people, hey, you're this, you're that, and you become that or this. That's not how that works. Like people got to accept that. People got to say, okay, or they got to at least call themselves that. So everybody in this world had identified themselves prior to being in contact with white people. White people disrespected everybody's identity. They went around renaming people. They called the people of Kemet Egyptian. Like that, they call it people in their name. Hey, you're not the Kemet people anymore. You're Egypt, right? The people of Kush, and Nubia, you're no longer that. You're Sudan. Well, that's the Arabs. The Arabs renamed them. Like they were Mali, Guinea. These are West Africans who were renamed Sudan. So people went around renaming dark people of the world out of disrespect, not out of respect, out of disrespect. So anyway, to come back around, so they're black racially, just like everybody else. So because this social construct, this modern social construct, but identity-wise, that don't mean nothing. So if I said this, so watch this. We in an auditorium, we got 100 Nigerians, 100 Haitians, 100 Black Americans, and we got 100 Jamaicans, right? And they say, hey, everybody black stand up. And we're all that's there. When we all stand up, black racially, right? But they say, hey, all right. They say, hey, only the Nigerians stand up. Wouldn't it just be 100? Wouldn't it just be 100 people?
Right. I mean, I get that.
Right. Hold on. But
okay.
wait, follow me. So when they say, so now they say, don't sit down. So we got 100 Nigerians standing up. Then they say, okay, Jamaicans stand up. Now we got 100 Jamaicans. They said Haitians stand up. We got 100 Haitians. What name for us they're going to use to get us to stand up? Because they can't say black. Remember, black covers everybody. So what name do they have for us for to stand up? What name?
Black.
So
Black Americans.
No, because Americans.
African Americans.
You see how confused that is? That was the goal. The goal was to flatten black where it didn't mean anything. Because now when they're trying to break down the groups, everybody had an ethnic name but us. Because they took our ethnic name and made it a racial term. Right? So ethnically, Jamaicans are Jamaican. Their nationality is Jamaican, and they're West Indian, they're Caribbean, and they're Yardie, right? Everything but black. They don't call themselves black in any of their dealings. White people call them that on censuses, like they do us. So only on paper, they're acknowledged as black, but they don't acknowledge that in their regular daily affairs. Go ahead.
Well, here in America, we're the only place that, I mean, people, in Nigeria, they refer to, like, they don't refer to themselves as black or mostly any country,
right?
Well, no country in Africa refers to themselves as black because
nobody refers to themselves
there's no.
Nobody refers to himself as a racial term. Okay? People call you what they call themselves what they are.
Right. So, but we don't.
No, we do too.
We're no, not necessarily, because we're all Americans. If we were, everybody else referred to themselves by their country. Nigerians are from Nigeria. They're Nigerian.
I'll tell you what.
Sudanese, they're from Sudan. Ghanaians are from Ghana. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're mixing up. So that's their nationality. See, Africa was the worst example.
So we don't identify from our nationality like other places.
No, listen. Africa was like the rare place where they don't identify the nationality. They go by their tribe. So I had Africans on the panel, Zimbabwean, Ivory Coast, Ugandan, Nigerian. They said when they meet each other, they don't stop at I'm just Nigerian. They ask them further. They say, okay, what tribe? Because Nigerians don't tell them anything about themselves. And they said if you don't give the tribe, they kind of look at you funny style, like okay, he's not trusted. So they are known as Nigerian when they leave Nigeria, right? They become this flat Nigerian. But in their homeland, they go by their tribes. Like you say the Ogoni people, you say the Hausa people, you say Igbo people. They are recognized by their ethnic tribes.
I don't know. They were when I was, I've
because they're talking to you
a couple times to a couple different countries, and they always identify themselves or introduce themselves as what they are.
Right. To the American woman, right? The op, they're gonna tell you, hey, I'm just a Nigerian. Like they're not gonna invite you to some sacred stuff. Oh, hey, I'm just Nigerian. Okay, like my American, goodbye, get out my face. Like that's what he on. That's what he on. But their ethnicity, do we agree their ethnicity is their tribal names? Is their tribes, right?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. So that's why I say Africa was a bad example, because this is the country. Most places identify their ethnicity and nationality as their country, right? So so French, like the people of France, they'll call themselves French. That's the nationality and ethnicity. Jamaica, Haitian. So like most places do that. Most countries use their Japan to Japan, right? Ethnically and nationality, right? So nationally, so nationally, so everybody do that. There's few places where they don't, and one of them, and America the other one.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we don't.
Well,
So
that was a lot. Yeah, that was a lot. I'll look deeper into it.
Yeah, all you gotta do is look. All you gotta do is stay tuned in because I talk about this a lot, right? And like it's really the deep research is really it's a rabbit hole. It'll have you going all over the place, right? And it's gonna throw words at you and terminology that's probably gonna be unfamiliar with that rabbit hole. So if you tune in over here, I kind of explain them like clearly, like you said, nationality, ethnicity, then you got race, right? You got to get that clear. Then you have something called an endonym and exonym. Then you have something called an ethnonym, right? So that all matters in that as well, because when white people call you something, that's called a exonym, exos. That's outsiders. Onym is name. That's outsiders naming you. That's disrespectful. Then you have something called an endonym. That means the people within the place name themselves. So Igbo is an endonym, right? Haitian is an endonym. Nigeria is not an endonym. They didn't name themselves Nigerian. The British named them Nigerian, right? Sudan, the Sudanese people, that's an exonym. They didn't name themselves Sudan. That was the Arab. They called them Bilal as Sudan. Then you have Jamaica. It was originally called Zaimaka, right? The British came over and said, nah, you got Jamaicans. That's an exonym. That's outsiders renaming you.
I got you.
All right. So now Black Americans, now watch this. Black Americans, we had exonyms too. They were colored and Negro, right?
Right.
Now, the way you seek empowerment, world respectable empowerment, you have to name yourself. You don't get any respect. Somebody called you something, and that's what you go by. So that's why we got rid of Negro and color as soon as we was fighting civil rights. Like we knew we couldn't take those disrespectful, derogatory terms. So we got rid of them, and we said we're black, and we gave a definition to blackness, right? That's called an endonym. So that means the people within named themselves and gave themselves a definition. FBA count as an endonym. ADOS, endonym. We're naming ourselves. But when white people call people Indian, that's an exonym. That's outsiders naming you. So that matters. Now look at black. Black racially. These people that supposedly black racially, those are exonyms. Those are exonymic terms. That means you're black because the white man renamed you. You're not black because you named yourself black. You're black because the white man. Now, Black Americans, we're black because we said we're black way before white said we're black. With a positive definition. Because Dr. King already told you that black was always, when applied to people, it was always synonymous with evil and bad things. So that's why nobody wanted to take on that word. Like, you'd be a fool like that. That's like a cursed word to apply to people. We did the unthinkable. What we did was phenomenal. We turned a taboo word that was diabolical definition, and we made it a respectable term. That's like, that never happened before ever. Because like, just imagine if BUM, right? BUM, that is seen as a low person society, right? Somebody who's not working, can't take it. So now, who would call themselves, hey, we're the BUMs? Like, you know how hard it would do to shake that image off you? They'd be like, what you say? Yeah, I'm a BUM. And you're gonna give them change. Now, just imagine trying to change that name, or let's say a thug. Like a thug, that's not a respectable title in society. Or a thief. Hey, we're the thieves. It's like, yeah, good luck with that, right? So we did that. We took black that was seen like that, and we made it so we was laughed at first, obviously. And matter of fact, a lot of our elders didn't want to take it because of that. People were reluctant. So Dr. King made the first step out of those older civil rights activists. He said, okay, listen, I'm about to embrace black. He made a whole speech. He said, hey, man, I know the past histories, the negative connotation associated with the word black, but we're no longer going to embrace those negative connotations. We're going to go forward with our own positive connotation on this word black. And then he said, I'm black and beautiful. Don't forget, black and beautiful have never went together ever before. Right? You are always black and ugly. However, like big and small, say, hey, I'm black and ugly, right? See,
Right.
So black and ugly always was interchangeable, or they follow each other. Even the word Negro, and when people went around calling people Negro was synonymous with ugly, inferior, animal, worthy of enslavement.
Right.
So yeah. So now all of that, it took me about, I'm gonna tell you right now, it took about a year. It took about a year to get where I'm at with black, and then we said American, right?
Right.
American, Nigerian, you see the AIN or the IEAN, that suffix, that suffix, that is a demonym, right? So Nigerian, so you got demonym, so that's the country name. So the country is called the United States of America, but when we make it a shortcut and say, hey, we're just American, that's called a demonym, right? Demonym. So demonyms, our demonym is American. Nigerian's demonym is Nigerian. But a lot of countries have a demonym, a shortcut version of how they call themselves, but that's not your ethnicity. It's just you're calling yourself by your citizenship, basically.
Right. Well, okay. Well, that's a lot. I mean, I appreciate it. Definitely gave me a lot I took a little note, some stuff that I want to follow up on and look into, and I followed you. So, yeah, I will tune in. I gotta get off now for this meeting, but I will definitely, follow me back. But I did follow you, and I appreciate you taking, try to educate me on that stuff.
Oh yeah.
So
Now, I
appreciate that. That's what's up.
Okay, thank you very much. So what I like those interactions because it becomes teachable moments, not just for her, but even for the listening audience, and even myself. The more I explain it, the more I get better at explaining it. You feel me? Like the analogies become very easy after a while. So in America and in Western racial systems, this is what I'm saying to you. In America and in what's going on? Okay.
Good to hear.
Yes, sir.
What you been up to?
Well, the small talk is irrelevant. Where are you from?
I am from Israel.
Okay. So this doesn't apply to you, does it?
I mean, it does, because I am an American citizen, so I feel like it does.
Yeah, but that's not how it works, buddy. Good. I got him up out of here. All right. This ain't the Babel hour, okay? We're not just accepting anybody to speak to the prompt. You have to be of African descent to speak to this, not because you're Israeli and you're American. You got to be of African descent to speak to what we're talking about. And what we're talking about is, are Africans black ethnically? Are the people of Caribbean, West India, or West Indians, are they black ethnically? Are people from Brazil or Panama, Cuba, are they black ethnically, or are they black conveniently? Absolutely. Did you want to comment? No?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I thought you were talking to the other lady. Yeah. Well, personally, I'm Black, so I've heard a lot about like FBA, Foundation of Black Americans, stuff like that. And it does seem like a controversial group. So I just wanted to hear you all's perspective, like what you stand for and like your, main ideologies.
All right. So let's go back. So what country are you originally from?
Well, my mother's from Guyana and my father is from the United States.
Okay. All right. So you're like black and Guyanese, right?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah. So there's millions of people that come under the name Black American or Foundation Black American. So if you argue with, like, for example, if I had a disagreement, let's say if a Guyanese person owed me money, like I cut his lawn, he didn't pay me. I can't say Guyanese people they don't pay their debt, right? So when people say FBA this, FBA that, and they're including all of us from their personal limited experiences, like that ain't right. That's something that a white man would do. Like they'll judge the whole based on a few, right? So FBA, as I'm explaining, is a term that's needed. It's a delineated term, foundational Black American, right? Because people from your homeland, Guyana, like they'll come over here, and again, it's no fault to themselves. There's a racial class, a racial category in America that's awaiting them. Now they come on, they're allowed to come over here and check that box, right? And now they're Black on paper, they're Black American on paper, they're African American on paper, but they're still Guyanese, in real life. They have their homeland, when they identify themselves, they're going to still have their flag. They're not going to burn their flag and become, Black American. They're still Guyanese person, but on paper, to receive, or for government census purposes, and even to receive maybe some housing government assistance, they are one of us, Black Americans. Now, the problem with us, with Black Americans, now again, this ain't got nothing to do with Guyanese people. This is our government, because our government used that loophole. So the government says, okay, because that Guyanese person is able to be Black on paper, like you Black Americans are Black on paper, you Black Americans can never get justice or can never have redress for the historical harms that this government calls Black Americans, because according to the 14th Amendment, the Equal Protection Clause, that this country is not allowed to rectify historical harms based on race, right? So because that's against the 14th Amendment. So we're not allowed to ever receive reparations or any other thing. Like if they want to make a tax tax free, or discount on colleges, or free college, whatever that can never happen under race. So it's common sense that we are fighting for reparations or redress for historical harms. We cannot identify as Black American, because everybody of African descent that comes to this country is Black American. That's a racial category that cannot exclude. They got to include everybody. So reparations for us is for everybody African descent, and reparations are not paid out through race. So that's a common solution. You got to identify yourself outside of that box, that racial box. So hence FBA, Foundation Black American.
That makes a lot of sense, and I find that a lot of white people, especially,
white people.
A lot of people tend to group all, I guess, Black people together, and they don't understand the distinction between Black folks from the Caribbean or folks from Africa, or things like that. So I do see the point in having a separate term for foundation, like the FBAs or whatever. And just to clarify, FBAs, so your lineage is from Africans who were taken from West Africa via chattel slavery, right?
So when you say Africans were taken, who took them?
People.
No.
Yeah.
No, white people. You gotta say white people. No, white people bought them. They were taken and enslaved by Africans and sold to white people.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So you believe that FBAs were still their own group of people during that time when Africans were enslaving them?
Well, the Africans say that. The Africans would tell you they did not enslave their own. They would say they went to other places across Africa to enslave other people. They would tell you we did not enslave our own. Yeah, so we were different from them way back then.
So what exactly are we then?
Okay, so Jamaicans, right? Well, you just said Guyanese people, right? So aren't your family Guyanese?
My mom, yeah.
Why isn't she African?
Well, she's a mixture of a lot of different, because Guyana doesn't have one specific.
I know, but you got East Indians there. I understand that, and the indigenous people there as well. So what I'm saying is, why did you identify as African? Why do you feel the need to identify her as Guyanese?
Because
because she ain't African, right? Because she ain't African. Right. We're not African either. We're Black American. And the Haitians aren't African.
Well, how were we in Africa?
Say that again?
If we're not African, then why were we in Africa when the other Africans enslaved us?
Okay.
We were not.
We
were on that continent.
No, you were never in Africa, and nobody in genealogy.
It's my ancestors.
Right.
Your ancestors.
So I don't have any ancestors that was in Africa. All my ancestors was American. I know most of it.
To America, are they indigenous?
Okay, so some people were enslaved by Africans and sold to white people, and they came over here in the 1600s, and a lot of them mixed in with the indigenous population and the white man themselves. So it became a homogenous group, homogenous person. So they're mixed with they're combined. The combined ingredients is African, European, indigenous, and that made a new person. Just like the Guyanese person was indigenous from over there. Right.
So you still like acknowledge that you have ancestors from the continent of Africa, right?
Well,
because in order to make that homogenous group, you just said it, European, indigenous, and African.
Right, so I'm speaking for myself, right? So I say I got African ancestry, European ancestry, and indigenous. Yeah, but that's my mix. But you can be an ethnic group without being exact like the other person. So, for example, like let's say if one person came from Africa, right, to America, and they didn't mix with nobody, like they're 100% African, but they still went through U.S. chattel slavery and Jim Crow. Yeah, they would ethnically be me, like we'll be the same, even though our genetic makeup is different. And if a person
we went through chattel slavery, if their lineage was a part of chattel slavery, then they're not 100% African. They are guaranteed to have European or indigenous in them.
No, I was giving you a hypothetical. I was saying if that person, like let's say we could prove that person, like what tribe they from and everything, their genealogy records, and they end up here with us in 2026, going through, yeah, they would be considered Black American, not African.
I'm kind of confused by your hypothetical, but I think I understand what you're saying.
All right, so, okay, cool. So, forget about the hypothetical. Let's go reality. So, that wasn't the case. So, mostly everybody that came from Africa to America has mixed with indigenous people and white people, right? So that means they're not African, they're not white and they're not indigenous. They're a combination of all three, right?
Yeah, agree.
So what's your question to that?
I guess my question is, I agree with what you're saying, like FBAs, if that's what you want to call it, are a mixture of what you just said, right? But I don't understand why some of them want to deny their African ancestry.
Okay.
I think it's like...
So that's the other thing. So some people say that, you know, when they do their genealogical records, nobody of African ancestry pops up. So, and they say all they have is their indigenous, you know, records of their family. So like they could only go back as far as indigenous Americans. Like they don't have nothing back to Africa. So how can somebody conclude they're African when their genealogical records don't include Africans? That's like just common sense. Like,
if you do a DNA test, it'll definitely show your genealogical records, but...
So let me help you out. A DNA test has a disclaimer. A DNA test tells you that it's for entertainment purposes only. Now, a DNA test is not to tell you where you were from 500 years ago. A DNA test has limitations, and they cannot tell you where you were 500 years ago. So what they do is DNA tests are originally created for medicinal issues and also to solve crime. You know, so like, or to tell you the daddy of a baby is the biological parent, but a paternity test type thing. But DNA tests were never designed to tell people who they were 500 years ago. So no.
You heard 23andMe?
Yes, I heard of all of them, and I researched all of them. And I'm telling you the limitation. Now, what you got to do for me, which I already did it, you got to Google the limitation DNA test. Now, there are programs in America that are strictly for Nigerians or people of African descent only, right? You cannot take your DNA test results and say, hey, look, it says I'm you, and I'm in now. No, that's why I say for entertainment purposes only. Even if it gave you a significant amount of indigenous blood in you, you could not take that test and be part of a tribe all of a sudden, an indigenous tribe. That test is not used for that. So people got the wrong, people misapply DNA tests to try to tell you where you're from. It's not designed for that. Google that right now. I mean, that's a Googleable search today at 133.
23andMe is designed for? What do you think it's going to say?
It's going to say, well, you got to say what DNA test. Isn't it a different DNA test, right? It's a DNA test, right?
Well, yeah, a 23andMe is a DNA test.
Right. And there's others, right? So just say, don't just specify as one. Just say DNA test.
Specify because
okay, then do it. Yes. Do
23andMe
what you want to do. But I'm saying, if I say DNA test, right, that incorporates.
is a DNA test.
Right. But if I say DNA test, that 23andMe will be there. It'll be considered. So if I go to Google or AI and I say DNA test, it's going to consider all of the DNA tests that's available. And
Hello. What's going on, man? Let me turn my mic. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? You, I'm talking to you. That just pulled up. Black are you? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Black. How you doing, Black are you? Can you speak up just a little bit? It's not that clear, like volume wise. How about now? He said, yeah, okay, my bad. Okay, I appreciate it. Okay, I appreciate it. I thought you were coming in to engage. No issue. I'll engage when I understand, believe it's the right time for me to speak. Okay. All right, I'm with that. Yeah, very clear. All right. Hopefully I'll hear from you soon. All righty, thank you. All right.
No.
right.
I never. I don't. It's not. It's definitely not designed to tell who you were 500 years ago. But what it can do is, it can like estimate
No.
DNA you share with other groups of people.
Nope.
That's the whole point of it.
Nope. Because
what do you mean? Nope. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, because but you should be reading that the estimates changes. It can go from 10% to 0. So it could and it updates every so often. So the updates change. It says one thing today. It could say, hey, you're 3% German today, and then 10 years from now, it could say you're 0% or 15%. So that's why it's not reliable. That's why it says entertainment purposes only. I do this. This research. I know already. I know its limitations. It cannot do that. It can't guarantee that you're 15%, 2%. It's okay. Now, you said your mom was, or you said there's black people in Guyana, right?
I said, well, yes, there are, but there's a multitude of ethnicities and races.
In what sense are they black? Like, are they black nationally, ethnically, racially? How are they black?
Well, Guyana was a slave port.
Gotcha.
Some Africans were taken to Guyana. So ethnically, yes, I guess by today's racial standards, they would be considered quote unquote black.
Wait, but hold on. But you know African and black are not interchangeable words, right?
Africans fall under black.
Racially, right?
It just said
okay.
Racial standards.
Now hold on. Who made up racial standards? Is that something Africans did? Guyanese people did? Right. Okay. So hold on, but it's more than that. It's called an exonym, right? So an exonym is when outsiders name you what you don't name yourself. So just because, for example, the white team man called people Negroes, it called people savages, it called people Indians. So they have a long historical record of calling people things they're not, and people, it's up to them to say, hey, I'm not that. Hey, call me by my name. So no, I'm not this black racial group you made up in the 2000s. I'm still Guyanese, and I have a Guyanese culture. I don't have a black ethnical culture at all. I don't have a black flag, black nothing. So now you're lumping me up as black only in America. They're not black in Guyana. They're not black. And if a Guyanese person go to Africa or go to, matter of fact, the UN prefers POAD. Look that up. Persons of African descent. They don't use black people. They don't say everybody's of African descent black. They say diaspora. It's called the African diaspora. It's not called a black diaspora. And that's a nickname they get. But the original name is the All right, so I was speaking for her when I say I am Guyanese. I don't have this. That's for her and her people. That's not for me. I'm 100% lineage. All right. I was speaking for her. What they should be saying to their governments who lump them up as black racially. Just because a white team man says it doesn't mean it's true. That's the point. Diaspora. Because black is like Igbo. It's like Jamaica. It's a word that's made up to identify people. So what does Igbo mean? Does Igbo tie into Africa? No, it's just a made up word. People just say, hey, what's this? So when my ancestors said we're black in America in the 1960s, it was a name. It's a name out of many we could have chose. So it's not synonymous with Africa. It don't have African roots. It's an English color word that we made a noun. Black is an adjective. It describes nouns. It describes people. So when white man called people Negro, they were describing people, and those descriptions were not positive. They were saying they're animals, inferior. So Negro is associated with that. So when people call themselves black racially, they're taking on a definition of the white man. And the white man says people of color are inferior and, worthy of being treated badly. Like there's no rights a white man is bound to respect. So there's a whole class that comes after the racial class, black. Now, in America, look at the harm that's been done to us in America. This is why it's a whole finesse. Like I just told you, by coming up with black in America, knowing it's our ethnicity, now black serves as a dual usage, which is what ethnicity does that in the world. So now black in America pertains to a specific exclusive people, at the same time pertains to an unspecific inclusive people. So when people come to America, everybody's confused. If you say, hey, let the black people stand up, you see people of Somali, right? You'll see people of Ethiopia descent. You'll see people of all different historical different backgrounds standing up as black people and black Americans. But if they say, okay, now everybody sit back down. Now only the Somalis stand up, and you'll get the Somali. So it's a way to assimilate and dilute as far as black Americans are concerned. So now again, back to our country and our historical harms. We can't demand justice under this black group because it was exclusive in the 60s. Whoever was called black in this country, 99.9% of them were black Americans. There was a tiny below 1% representation of anybody from the Caribbean and Africa together in the 60s. So those who could be called black, it was pretty much all black Americans. So it was a finesse. So now when the civil rights was passed and now things had to, we had to correct the harms, they passed some stuff, 1965, all type of different laws where race-based exclusions are illegal. Now, don't forget, we were the only racial people that could be black. It was unfathomable for somebody to be black in America in significant numbers. So now in the 2010s, in the 2000s, where it became a large million, significant number of people from the Caribbean and Africa, now this racial group is now large now. So now we're like, hey, that's why DI programs being thrown out, because they're all racially based. It's enough people in different origins coming to this racial-based group, and now it's being thrown out. Hey, remember, you can't do something for race. Now, if it's done for black Americans exclusively, that's not race. That's an injure harm people. But under that name, black has now they have now made black a racial term officially. So now black is like doomed. It's like cursed now. So we got to add other things, Adolf, freedmen, black Americans. So just to go back, the only ethnic black people, and I say ethnic, that means you called your society black. You called your economics, you called your wins, losses, your money, everything black. You're forced to do something black. We have a black flag, 1967, Melvin Charles. It's called the Black American Heritage Flag. So everything, we have black songs, everything about black movements, everything about us, the black dollar, black marriage, everything about black Americans, our entire society is ethnically black. The Guyanese people, their society is ethnically Guyanese. It's the Guyanese economics, the Guyanese dollar, Guyanese on Guyanese crime. Everything's Guyanese related. Nothing's blacks over there. So that's called being anachronistic. That means you're going back in time, not you, but the average person goes back in time and calls themselves a term that wasn't them when it was applied. So when black was being applied as a positive endonym, that was exclusively for black Americans only. Everybody was Guyanese, Jamaican, Nigerian, everything they wanted to be. Until recently, the 2000s, since our reparations fight is when people started to take on black that we know of in America.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that don't mean the Guyanese people are not our brothers and sisters. My best friend, I say all the time, one of my best friends are Guyanese, actually. You're the second person I spoke to that has Guyanese background. And so far, y'all representing, because there's a sister before you I spoke on TikTok, and she was cool like you. And again, my boy is from Guyana, and his whole family, I'm cool with his entire family. Like, he will give me the shirt off his back, like he's a real thoroughbred. So we're not saying because we are ethnically black and you're ethnic Guyanese, well, not you, because you're actually black too, you're mixed. So you are what we would call foundation Black American, as well as Guyanese. So you can express both sides you want, however you want to do it. But somebody who is fully Guyanese, they can be an ally, they can rock with us and whatever, but they're just not black ethnically like us. And so we just straighten out the confusion. Like, we cause the confusion to go away, and everybody's who they are. This person, the Guyanese brother, I'm the black brother, and this person, the Nigerian brother. You feel me? And this is the white brother, the Hispanic brother, the Latino, Puerto Rican, whatever, so on and so forth. But the confusion, the dilution of confusion, we're not letting white America do it. And this goes back all the way to Walter Plecker with the 1924 Racial Integrity Act. It's actually called the Racial Integrity Act. They use race to reclassify indigenous people to steal their land. So they always use this racial category to exclude, deny, and take from people. And they're doing that today with us. They're using the racial thing to deny us reparations and other things that's owed to us. And you have Ed Blum, anything that's race-based, Ed Blum is cooking it in court.
Wow. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I agree with, everything you're saying. How do you feel about like people calling FBAs like a hate group?
I don't mind, because that's their right. Where I'm sure there's some, I heard it myself. I heard FBA say the most toxic stuff ever, but that's a hateful person. Just like when a white man does something like Dylan Roof, when he did his thing in the church, like, he was racial, right? But they didn't say the entire white race was racial, right? They didn't say all white Americans are racist because Dylan Roof was. So they called Dylan Roof a long wolf, hateful towards other folks because they are not foundational. They are hateful people, but they don't represent a group, and they can't poison the well. That's called poison the well. That one person or those 30 people don't poison the well of 50 million. That's not how that works. That person or people, they are hateful or whatever. So I'm actually going to do a live on YouTube. It's going to be called What's.
Okay, so I'm just checking in. If anybody want to, something to say, add to. You want to say something now, brother, or are you still listening? Do you disagree with anything? You enjoy what you heard? Hello? I hear but the clicks back there. What? Is that clicking and popping? What's that? All right. So nothing, nobody, nothing. Okay. Let me continue. God damn it. Look at this. Nobody going once, going twice. Okay, let's go.
Yeah. Well, my thing is this. Like I said, I do agree when I would say FBA say that we black, right? Because the truth is this right here. The only person that called themselves black was us. We know why my people have been referred to as like black historically. So yeah, Africans are black.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. When did they become black? What year?
Not sure, but being a descendant of freed slaves, I do know when the freed Black American slaves specifically went back to Africa, to the settlement of like Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
In their free settlement, they were referred to as free blacks.
Wait, hold on. I think you're mixing up history. So,
No, I'm not.
okay, we'll see. By the way, I'm a historian, so I got one. Right. So you say Sierra Leone, like a couple of names came to mind, like Mark Robinson Laney, right? So this is you talking. I could give you a free black who went there. That's Martin Robinson Laney, and I could tell you why he went there, not Liberia. Can you tell me why he went there, not Liberia? Okay, because he was against the ACS, the American Colonization Society, who were drafting Black Americans to go to Liberia because it was a threat to enslave blacks. Like they thought it was motivating them to either rebel or get themselves out of slavery, either by emancipation. By buying themselves out or meritorious manumission, something like that. So they was getting them out of the country to not inspire such inspirations for enslaved blacks. They wanted to be docile. But Mark Lane didn't trust the ACS like other folks did. So he funded his own back to Africa trip to Sierra Leone, but brother, he came right back. He didn't stay long. He came right back. He realized the grass wasn't greener. Now, so what you're talking about when you talk about someone else being free black is a term for Black Americans who are literally free from American plantation. Those are only free blacks historically. Anybody else, if you talk about any town from in Africa, those African towns, those were slave ships that was after 1808 that was caught transporting slaves, and they had to free or let those people out wherever they were, and they let them out in different parts of Africa, and those became like African like towns that way. But the reason why now the term black, so we're going back to like late 1700s, early 1800s, and even like mid 1800s, right? Before obviously Emancipation Proclamation, black was a term only put on BLACK, not what it means, not a translation, not in Spanish. We're talking about English word black. That was only applied to Black Americans in this country. Nobody else ever took on the word black, and we applied it to ourselves as a primary ethnonym. Okay, ethos Greek mean inside, onym mean name. That's an inside name. We named ourselves that. Nobody names that. No colonizer, no enslaver, no other people, no Arabs. Nobody names black. We did. Now, that's why I asked you what date. Okay, so now black historically in the English word has always been a taboo, stigmatized word. So nobody would actually take on that term. So that's why A. Philip Randolph, Booker T, all those guys ran. They literally ran from the word black. Dr. King talks about it in 1967. He gave a speech saying black was always associated with ugliness, lazy, and every negative connotation. But we're changing that. He said, I'm black, I'm beautiful. This is 1967. So we know, so that's dated. So we know nobody called themselves black voluntarily or willingly because, like Dr. King said, it was all
That's the identifier, correct?
No. Okay. Oh, no, don't worry. We're gonna touch on dates, we're gonna touch on history. Okay, we say identifier. Okay, watch this. Watch how I help you out. When you say identifier, are you saying ethnicity? I'm getting options. Are you saying ethnicity, race? No. Wait, no. Hold on. You messed up. Race. Okay, watch this. I just told you I was a historian. Now, our government made black the race what year? Officially, what year? 1977 through Directive number 15 and the OMB, the Office of Management Budget. Go Google it right now. Before then, it was Negro. Negro was a race for everybody globally. Right? No. My ancestors. Right. But they were not black. Right. So, no. Hold on. You just said racially black. Black ain't become a race by our government until 1977.
Hey, look at my ancestors and classify them as Negroes.
Wait. Hold on. You're saying a Spanish word, a Portuguese word, and you're saying an English word. And that's ahistorical. So now look, historical. Okay, go ahead. What? Okay, hey bro, what I'm saying to you, and I need you to react right there and tell where you read it from. This is what I'm telling you. Wait. Hey bro. Hey bro. Yeah, but you gotta see what I'm saying first before you know what to go against. All right? So I'm saying before 1977, there was no such thing as a black race. And you're saying there were?
Okay. was black.
Negro there in color.
1977 was
Oh.
Rich was black.
Oh, okay, hold. What people? No. Okay, so wait. Hold on. Hey, bro, hold on. Because you're using black and Negro interchangeably, and I'm not doing that. I'm saying one came before the other historically. So I'm being very clear, and you keep diluting my word, and you're trying to prove something. So listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying before 1970, there was no such word as black as a racial category for people of African. Is that true or false?
You're probably saying a word came.
No. This is history. This is history. I'm saying, okay, look, Negro.
Okay, before 1977, people still described black people as black. Like,
Right. Okay.
African descent.
Okay. Right. But who did that?
I don't know. Maybe white people.
No. I'm gonna tell you. It was Richard Wright and Elijah Muhammad in the 1940s. So Richard Wright wrote a book called The Black Boy in 1945, describing Black Americans. Nobody from Africa, nobody from Haiti, nobody from the islands. Black Americans. Elijah Muhammad had a paper called the Muhammad Speaks that they sold across America, and he called us black people, black man, black woman. He was talking about nobody from Haiti, nobody from the islands, and nobody from Africa. So the word black was created from the word black as a self-identifier, not a race, but an ethnic term to identify our ethnicity, was coined here in America in the 1940s by four Black American men, not foreign. Okay, so to give me a name.
Okay.
Yeah, I gave you two names. Yes, sure. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Context.
Okay.
So it's like
Wait, hold on.
if you claim it.
Wait, slow down. So because white people did have that mentality, but so did Arabs too, right? Arabs also had that. If you're not us, because they look at their skin and they can clearly see they're dark, right? So they're like, okay, you're not us. We're Arabs. And so listen, what I'm saying is, talking about Europeans, not white people. White people weren't around that time. Europeans and Arabs, they looked at dark-skinned people, preferably from Africa, and they said, "You're not us, and we won't even dignify who you are. We're gonna call you black because black." Now, when they call people black, that was dark, right? What definition did they have in mind? Was it something favorable to those people or disfavorable, like a slur?
Disfavorable.
Right. So hold on.
But
Wait. Hold on.
Distinction.
Okay, hold on. Listen to what I'm saying, bro. If they got a disfavorable definition, why they calling you black? Why? Hey, Black, are you? Can you hear me now? Oh, okay. Did you? I wasn't sure. I couldn't. I wasn't able to hear you. Were you wanted to say something or no? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, I couldn't tell. And by the way, while they calling them black, did those recipients have their own name for themselves?
Probably.
What do you mean probably? If people walk around nameless?
They should have. I mean,
okay. Hey, bro, listen. Let's have an honest conversation. So there are no human beings that was walking around nameless. Every human being that had a communicable language, they identified themselves as something. Case in point, Arabs called the Kushites, the Nubians. Okay, they called the Mali. They called them Balad al-Sudan. Now already had a name, Kushites, Nubians, Mali. So those names so they already called themselves something. That's called an endonym. The inner people called themselves something, and they agreed to it. The outer people don't respect that because they don't want to dignify them. They don't want to respect them, so they call them their name. You're black. Well, they didn't say there's no. By the way, they didn't speak English, so there was no English word black at the time. That's why I say Black al-Sudan. That's Arabic. So they called them Spanish terms, Arabic terms, and those terms came with definitions. So when Arab people called you Balad al-Sudan, right, for the sake of argument, black, it came with sinner, people who's always lamenting. Like these are the definitions that came with that word, Balad Asudan. So it was completely negative, derogatory sense. When Europeans called people Negro, right? That had a definition behind it. It's how they seen you. It's the world perspective. When they seen you as them as lazy, less than inferior, deserving of hardship, labor, and forced shit like that. So why would people who aimed themselves in their definitions was something great when they call themselves Igbo or whatever? That was pride behind those Nubian Kushite. It was pride, a sense of accomplishment behind the names. Why would they drop that name that they named themselves, became a pride, dignity, and to take on a European or Arabic name that had no good intentions for them?
I think the reason is it's what structure you're under. So if I'm not around
before the structure, before the structure, I'm saying just logically, which name would fit them better? The name they call themselves or the name their ops called them?
The name they call themselves.
Right. So that's called
excellent. Clearly understood. We get all of that. Like we clearly
no. Wait, hold on. We're gonna get to it. Just slow down. I mean, I'm not going nowhere. I'm here. I'm saying that terminology is called an exonym. An exonym is when the outsider name you. When we would call Negro, Nigger, all those terms, gorilla, monkey boy, whatever, those are exonyms. And an exonym is always normally negative. But go ahead. So now we have a people who already identify themselves as something, and and even when white people call on those terms, the people still call themselves what they called themselves originally, right? So, some people didn't. Like the Kushites got tricked, right? They ended up calling themselves Bilal al Sudan, which is Sudanese today. So they got tricked and called themselves Sudanese. So they got an exonymic term. That's their label. It's a disrespectful label. So when they call themselves Sudanese people, that terminology comes with that definition that the Arabics had. So it's like no self-respect when that's like us saying we're Negroes today. There's like no respect for that term. Now, when the Europeans call people of Africa Negro, the Africans never took that terminology. They kept their names. That's why they're Igbo today, Zulu, Shona, Ashanti. They never kept those names. There's only few people in history that kept the exonymic names. Okay? So even though white people call them Negro, the point is they didn't call themselves Negro. They stuck to their tribal names back then and now. So they never acknowledged those terminologies, those definitions, those derogatory, they never acknowledged it. They still call themselves their nationality and their tribal names today. Are we clear right there?
Yeah, I understood that.
Okay, so now fast forward to us. We were called Negro colored and other terrible names. All right, we embraced it as an exonym. Then we rejected it after our freedom. Once we got freedom, once we fought for and deleted for our freedom, we at some point decided to rename ourselves. We knew we couldn't call ourselves Negro color and get global respect, even self-respect. So we decided to take on an English word. Well, we had a couple. We had American Negro. We had an Afro-American, and we decided BLACK works better. Right, so we went with that. That's called an endonym. That's when the inside group calls themselves something and then redefines it. And so we gave our own definition to that word. Now, based on that, at that time in the 1960s, there are no people on earth who are calling themselves BLACK besides us in America. You want to add to that? Or whatever you want to add to?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I think it all comes down to location where you're at, what government and laws you go under, and then the lingo, because we have a hood dialect, and then when we get around in public or business wise, we have another dialect. So, and then when we go to fill out a job application, it for my character or being or how I'm known, in this establishment, what do I mark? you know. And so we universally say, oh, you know, what's given, the options given is, you know, Black, African American, like you were saying, Negro, and things like that. So that's what I've always, you know, being in America, that's what I've always identified as and always known myself to be. But when I call, like if I say my nigga, I'm talking to I'm not using that in mixed company or people who are not my nigga. You know what I'm saying? So it's like kind of, you know when to use things and know not. And we take things, like you said, and turn them into a love thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not a derogatory. We're not saying it with derogatoriness. We're saying it in love.
Yeah, I no problem with that. But you jump 40, 50 years ahead from what I was talking from. I was saying 1960. In 1960, the African descent representation in America was 99.9% Black American. So when we called ourselves Black, last some time, nobody on earth was calling themselves BLACK besides us. The rest of the world was calling themselves what they always called themselves. If they had a newly formed term, they called themselves that, right? Ghana, you know, Ghanaians, right? They even though Kwame Ture called himself, well, he said Black Power over here. When he went to Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah didn't adopt that, right? They was talking about Ghanaian power. They didn't say nothing about no Black power there. So even they knew that was limited in America. So now, when you say the forms, now you're talking about 30 years after established Black was an endonym. So now Jesse Jackson came with, he popularized African American, and now he didn't have control of the forms. White America, the same people who name people, you remember, they go back and name people names, and it's always bad and derogatory and it causes confusion. White people came after Jesse Jackson and had forms. And because, again, even then, that representation of people from Africa and the Caribbean America was very, very tiny. Okay, so now they got forms to getting ready for this influx, right? This influx. And they want to now group them on race because they knew they can't come here and call themselves Black or African American, because both of those terms were exclusively used as ethnicities, right? So you can't just come to my country part of an ethnicity. Not how that works. So they came with race, the social construct race, and they said we're going to group everybody of African descent with this term race. And then coincidentally, they chose our ethnicity. They didn't even choose a separate term, separate name for race. They chose what we called ourselves exclusively. That's like saying Haitian is the new race for all people of African descent. That's like saying Igbo is the new term for people. Like everybody would be highly offended. That's like saying Egyptian is the new term for, you know, the Middle Eastern people. They'll be highly offended because everybody likes their identity to be exclusive to them, because we dealt with Black Reconstruction, Black Wall Street. So people saying so, they're calling themselves Black. When the dude Husmar was asking about Black things, they didn't know. It's like, wait a minute. So how you Black then? And you're not taught, especially in America, you don't know anything about Black Wall Street, nothing, Black Reconstruction. You know, everything Black in America, you don't know about. So the question is, in what sense are you Black? But back to the racial construct, white people say, okay, everybody's gonna call themselves Black African American that comes to this country, get citizenship. You're now Black African American as a race. Okay, that's the confusion right there, because you're only that on paper. You're not that in society. So that means Jamaicans, Haitians, and Africans of any country, any tribe that comes to America, they only call themselves Black African American on paper. In their daily lives, their social lives, they go back to Jamaican brother, the Haitian brother, or Igbo or Ghanaian. They go back to that in their daily language, daily communications. Only on paper, they're African American Black. Okay.
Yeah, we do the same thing. That's what I was talking about. I was relating to that.
What's the same thing?
Like I'll say my on a job or right on paper in public, you know what I'm saying, in the right setting, I'll, you know, just refer to you as Black. But then outside of that, I'm be like, yo, what up, my nigga?
No. You said we. That's what you do.
Yeah, I'm saying that's right. As a, like, just like you were just saying about other people or how they do when they.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, okay, bro, I mean, that's a horrible comparison. First of all, in order for me to paint a better picture, what state do you live in right now?
I live in New York.
Okay. Have you ever lived in the South?
Yes.
Okay. Are they going around saying my nigga? No. No, they're not. Okay.
Not
And
like
and
that,
and
not like
right. No, of course not. But the South is the black representation. Most people black live in the South. Okay, like so when we up here up north or in the west, that's a small, not small, but that don't make up the most of us are in the South, still in the South. Most of our home ownership is in the South. Most of our land ownership, everything we do, pass down and keep the records close, genealogy records, that's all in the South. But we become diluted, mixed around, confused when we spread abroad. But the South has no idea of our foods, our dishes, all Southern. And then they come to New York, they come to the West Coast, Midwest, whatever. But they all of our culture, everything starts in the South. Even like the Black Wall Street, all of our greatness, all of our South, the Selma, that's the South. So all of our greatest achievements come from the South. So the whole my nigga thing, that's a New York thing, my guy. And that's why in New York, you don't only just say that, but so do the Indians. I'm in New Jersey, I know. So do the Indians, Chinese people, white people. Everybody say my nigga. It ain't just
I think in the whole South. Yeah, I'm thinking the whole South says my nigga too. Like,
hey bro, that's why I asked you. Hey bro, that's why I asked you, man. Have you ever lived in the South? Like you're just talking. I lived in. Okay,
personally, I lived in Tennessee. And throughout the South, right? Throughout the South, we're not oblivious here, like Atlanta or anywhere down south, right? Alabama, you saying that black people don't say my nigga, and
that's a New York thing, my guy. That's a New York thing. That's a New York thing. Like a little bit in New Jersey. Even New Jersey, we barely say that, bro. We say my boy, my guy. Like we say a whole bunch of stuff, bro.
Are you saying that in the South they do not say my nigga? You saying? Are you saying?
Okay, I'm saying that's not a Southern thing. I'm saying that collectively.
Okay, no problem.
Right.
But we are saying that they do say it in the South.
Right. Okay. Look. Chat. That's what levels to this. He's doing a exception thing, bro. We don't do that as FBAs. We don't grab the exception and plaster it as the rule. There's always exceptions to everything, my guy. But you don't use the exception unless you're tethering. You don't use the exception as the rule. You use the exception as the exception, and it stays in the exception realm. Stays there, and that's it. That's why I say the Southern thing. The Southern thing is to have hospitality. This guy said Tennessee. I lived in Mississippi, Texas, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. How you talking about, man? 5 different states. I went to school down there too. 5 different states. There's Southern hospitality. Where's the hospitality saying, my nigga? That's disrespectful. Matter of fact, you get your ass kicked calling the FBA guy. You could be FBA all you want. You get your ass kicked trying that New York stuff. You know what, my nigga? You be stomped out somewhere trying that, and everybody knows that. Everybody knows that.
I don't think nobody approaches. Yeah, I don't think we approach.
Okay, but hold on. But I'm saying the rule. I'm going back to the rule, not the exception. The rule in down south is hospitality. It's an adjustment you gotta get used to if you're up north. People are gonna wave at you all day long. That's not how it is out here, New Jersey, New York. Nobody waving at your ass, and you better not wave at nobody you don't know. You gotta keep it moving. Down south, if you don't wave back, that's disrespectful. It's the opposite. So what I'm saying is that there's a Southern approach to things. There's a New York, there's a Midwest, there's a West Coast approach. And to deny that or act like it doesn't exist, it's being disingenuous. No, that's not a Southern thing to say, my nigga. That's a New York thing, and Philly don't even do that. Philly bull and all types of shit they do in Philly. So that's maybe a New York thing. In New Jersey, sometimes we say it too, but New York. And we know, because I'm from Jersey, and I deal with New Yorkers, we talk differently. We do. We talk differently. We say different shit. We dress differently. We behave differently. Like, we know New York, and y'all know New Jersey guy right away. Like, okay, that's that Jersey shit. That's the New York shit. So we know, and we know the Southern stuff, the Midwest, well, a little bit. We know the West Coast stuff.
Let me ask you.
Wait. Let me go back to the bigger point, because really, like, you watered down the point. The point was you chose to say my nigga, okay? And I was comparing that to a form that people check So I was saying that they are Black African American only on paper. That's the whole point. They're only that on paper.
I agree. We said the same thing. Like when we go to a job or when we,
No. No. I'm not saying that. You're saying that. That's a bad analogy. That's a false equivalence. That's actually. What resources come with that? If you're at a job, say my nigga, what tangibles come with that?
Well, she's now. I mean, you're going into a lot of different.
No. I'm not. No, I'm not. Okay, so what tangibles come with select that Black African American box? Any incentives at all?
That they know that when they talking about me and they say my name and they know what that it distinguishes me from everybody else. That my check comes to me.
Wait, no. I'm saying on regular forms, college, jobs, housing. What tangibles come with checking Black African American?
What tangibles come with it? I don't know.
Wow. Shelter, benefits, SNAP, college admissions, scholarships. Now, what comes with saying my nigga? So I'm pointing, but you guys say that's the thing about calling in platforms, family. Calling to be right, and then calling in just to have a good conversation, right? So had you called in and had a good conversation, you can't. How you miss that? Now so people are incentivized to select Black African American. You're not incentivized to say, "What's up, my nigga?" So you compare the two again. That's a horrible equivalence. I mean, anybody can take this conversation, run it to AI, and it's gonna laugh at them. Like, yo, what? Those two don't go. They're not hand in hand. It's a horrible.
What up, my brother? What's up, my brother? Peace King, or whatever.
Yeah, but even still, what incentivized you to do that? You could easily not say that, but to get those resources, you ain't getting them without checking that box.
Yeah, right.
Right. So yeah, that's just a bad analogy. But anyway, let's get back to where we were because we went down a couple rabbit holes. So based on everything I said, right? Black, BLACK. Are there any Black people in the world you could point to outside of Black people in America? The countries, can you point to Black people?
Based on my knowledge of what Black is, yes.
What country?
Anywhere that I could see.
Just give me one. Just give me one country. Just one.
That I could point out Black people. Australia.
Yeah. Okay. So now, are they known as Aborigines, Australians, or Black people there?
Aborigines.
Right. So do they call them so that now you're placing something on them? That's sort of X in them. Like that's the colonizer behavior. To call somebody something they don't call themselves. Right. We just said that people themselves.
I wouldn't do that personally, but
no, but you're doing it now.
Identify as Black. I was just making it.
But you're doing it now. Why not just call them what they are? See, that was the whole point. The whole point is
I would not go to the hey Black guy. So you're
doing it now. Like, this is live. Hey, bro, this is live. But
not call anybody outside their name. Like period.
So you're gonna do it private?
I don't play slang with people. I'm just saying the context here. Right. Hold on, real quick. The context here is who do you see as Black? And I would say anybody, right? Anybody that I would see as tan skin.
Right, let's deal with that. Let's deal with that. In what sense? Wait, so what? How does tan skin equate? Okay, what about Indians? Are they Black?
Yes.
Oh shit. Okay, so basically, you're using Black as an adjective, like a color to describe somebody, right?
Right. And yeah, not white, like having Black African features, round nose, pigmentation to the skin, melanin to the skin.
Okay, so East Indians are Black. I got it. What about some Colombians? That's like kind of tan skin. Are they Black?
Right.
Huh?
Yes, correct. Right. I would see
Mexicans Black too?
Yes.
So everybody Black but white people. I got it.
Right.
Yeah. No. We
Except for I think when you get into the Chinese or Oriental.
Okay.
But then again,
fine.
Then again, they may have, but the melanin, you know, the pigmentation to the skin is a real key.
Okay, right. So I did ask you how you define. Okay, so now in America, how do we define ourselves black? Do we rely on skin color or just something else? I'm talking about foundation Black Americans. Americans,
How do we see
descendants of
each
slavery.
other as foundation Black American?
Yeah. How do we define the people who trace their lineage to U.S. chattel slavery? Do we define black on skin color or other things?
I think other things. I think culturally,
Right.
yeah, I think,
Right.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. So now watch this. So now you are aware of Black Americans being identified as black and associated black before those Australians, right?
Yes.
Right. So now look what just happened. Family, y'all catch that? So he understood black over here because it started over here, calling people black in a positive sense. And he understood it to be more than skin color. But somehow, when he went to look over the waters, he reduced it just skin color. That's why you can see them as black, my guy. You reduced how we seen it over here because it was defined over here that way as an endonym. Like we define black more than skin color because Prince is, I was gonna hit you with Prince, who is yellow as a Chinese person and he's black, all right, because it's more than that to us. But then when you look overseas, you all of a sudden start to cherry pick. You took out the culture, or you took out the struggle, you took out the history, and you relied just on skin color. So maybe if you look at it,
I'm not taking anything away because I don't know anything, right? Or
you just took the, yeah, but you just took the culture.
I'm not taking anything away. I'm just saying how if I step into Australia right now and I look at different people.
No, not right now. Not right now. Just in America. Now you just said, okay, listen, brother, what you just said. You just said in Black America, we don't define people black on skin tone alone. You mentioned culture, right? So that means that there's a unique culture.
I just want to be specific. Are we talking about, because you said something about foundational Black American?
Yeah, but then I said anybody who could tie their line to U.S. chattel slavery. Is that right?
Or are they connected to us, or anybody? Are they also foundational Black American? Is that what you're saying?
No. Hey, brother, you're all over the place. No. I'm giving you right. I'm giving you a basis. I'm right now speaking about people who are rooted in the United States who can tie their lineage to U.S. child slavery. I call them foundation Black American. You can say African American, whatever terminology we want to call them, doesn't matter to me. As long as we're talking about the same group, right? I don't want to confuse culture. So we're talking about people who can tie their lineage to U.S. child slavery. All right. So they call themselves Black and they defined Black, right? And you just agreed that Blackness wasn't exclusive and solely just relying on color. You acknowledge that Blackness was tied to the culture that they developed in America, right?
Here, right. Mm-hmm. Yes.
In America. Okay, cool. And then you also acknowledge that at that time that this renaissance on Black was happening, this redefinition was happening, you understood that nobody in the world was calling themselves BLACK at that time. So the only positive definition at this time we got for Black only fits people that can tie their lineage to U.S. chattel slavery. So as we're calling ourselves Black, the Australians are still Australian. They're still Aborigine, right? So that the Jamaicans still Jamaicans, Haitians still Haitians, Zimbabweans still Zimbabweans. Everybody's still who they are. Nobody moved the muscle. We're the only people that move the muscle. So now we are the Black people of the world, and everybody's still who they are, named after their tribe, country, language, whatever. They're still who they are. Okay. Now, we're in America, we didn't go to Australia. And in America, you're calling them Black. Not in Australia. We didn't step foot there yet. We're still in America on the live. You're taking Black, how it's defined. And the only definition was what we just said. Culture, experience, struggle, patents, achievements, inventions, innovations, all fighting, All of that goes in a definition of enslavement, freedom. All of that goes in a definition of black. So it's a lived experience that's continuous. It never ended. Right now, we're still adding to the blackness because we're still experiencing things. And like, let's say hypothetically, we get reparations, then that's added to blackness. The people who receive reparations, you know what I mean? It's that whole thing. So that blackness already, that word BLACK, in a positive sense, already have a positive definition. Now, in a negative sense, you're right. That's everybody of tan skin, right? You're right in a negative sense. But the way it was defined in America, that definition wouldn't apply to nobody but Americans who can tie their lineage to U.S. chattel slavery. So to look across the seas and call somebody black, people are really cherry picking. They're extracting, omitting all of everything else that makes people black, and they're focusing back on the European understanding of who's black. The European is the people who said, you're Negro, you're Sudan because of your color. So Europeans are caught up on color, not us, and not people in Africa, Caribbean, and Australia. They're not caught up on color. That's why they don't name themselves after color. Europeans and colonizers are caught up on color. So you're looking overseas and you're calling people black from a European perspective. And that's just, you said it yourself, which is just solely reliant on color.
But I just want to clear up. I would not say that to their face. It would be more like talking to another American or talking to you or somebody, you know what I'm saying? And we amongst each other would say that's a black dude, or, you know what I'm saying? Or he's tied to African of FBA and things like that. I would not go to him and call him black, or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay. Now, that part I get, because black has, under European rules, right? From a European worldview, Europeans have introduced the race category, right? Where they're saying, like what you're saying, they're saying those people in Australia now, so all of a sudden they are black now. You dig? They are African American. So if people call themselves black in America or even in their own country, I get it. Are they wrong? Yes, because they're not black. They are Australian. They are Aboriginal, and they're only black on paper. So they're still just wrong. People don't call themselves because white people said fill this out. People call themselves what they ever always called themselves. So so common terminology, common communication. What you're saying, hey, that black guy, I get it. I understand. I'm not dumb. I know who you're referring to, right? So what we're doing, I get that. But it's confusing though, because those people start to believe that black history is now their shit now. See, so these are the issues that's coming with it. And then they start to believe they can represent and be spokesmen and come into leadership roles of the real black people because they're black too now, all of a sudden. So now that's why we're delineating. We're saying, we get it. We're not dumb. We know why you're calling so black, and it's from racial, but it's crossing, it's blurring the lines now, because now you believe you're black like us. So when we say reparations for black people, guess who got their hand up? Those people who think they're black too. They say, hey, what about us? We reparations. So now we're like, oh shit, this whole white man, you got it. You got it. It worked. Okay. So now we're delineating. You guys black on paper, whatever, you want to hijack the word, cool. Now we're FBA, we're ADOS, we're Foundational Freedmen Americans, Foundation American Freedmen. We're that now. Okay. Y'all can have black temporarily as we delineate. And as we delineating, you're gonna see people go right back to their home names. They're only choosing black because they're tying themselves to us and our achievements and whatever selfish reason they got right now. They're tying themselves to black. And we're saying, cool, you got that. We're delineating. So when people say black, that ain't us. That person is from Haiti, that person is from so-and-so, that person is so-and-so. That is not necessarily somebody from the lineage. And that's the whole point. Right. Yeah, that's the whole point of that's the whole point of delineating, because if we don't do that, we'll be the only people who has an ethnicity that's also a race. We'll be the only people in the world. So that means everybody is us. Everybody is so. In other words, everybody is themselves and us, and we're just everybody. We'll be the only people on earth that's not ourselves. Asians is also a race. One last thing, Asian is always a race. So a Chinese person could be an Asian, which is everybody. He could say, hey, I'm Chinese. I'm a Han Chinese now myself. So he can be part of the group and then detach from the group. Brother, we can't detach from the group. We're just part of the group. That's the whole finesse on Black African American. Go ahead.
I feel connected to Africa, so that's the group I'm connected to, amongst African Americans. Do you feel that Obama was a black man or the first black president?
Of course not. He was from Kenya. I mean, he's Kenyan, and he had a white European mom. So they call those people mulattoes. Like that's their politics. They say colored, or they say mulattoes. Which one? So that's what he would be in their politics. He'll be colored mulatto.
Right. That's why I said from who. So it's always from their perspective. Now we're activating. Now FBA is trying to have their own perspective.
We have our own perspective, but it's always been there. What's different? Black America been here since the '60s, and we just put an F there for clarity, as a reminder.
Right.
And that's called the Wheezy F. Yeah, Black American Foundation. Black. What changed? Same name.
Right.
Never been down south with foundational. There's up north. There's enslaved up north the whole time. Yeah, but for most of it, but again, that's the exception. But most of us got Southern history.
We don't have accents.
Let me ask you this, because you said you're attached to Africa, the group of Africa. What group of Africa you're attached to?
The whole continent. I look at this is my perspective. This is just my opinion and perspective.
Right.
Africa to me represents the land of the dark-skinned Negro, of the dark-skinned human being. Let's put it like that.
Okay.
Or melanin, everything. The bluest, the darkest of people come from Africa, and that's my lineage. The dark people of the earth. That's how I look at it. That's just my perspective. Continue. Okay.
So now you're connected to them. Are they connected to you?
I don't really know or care. That's just my perspective of how I see my connection to Africa and the history of Africa and this world.
Okay. So you have no African connections or you don't network with Africans at all?
I mean, personally, I do not. Or currently. I just know certain people here and there, but I don't have any really interpersonal connection.
Yeah. So for me personally, I'll speak for myself. I think that is a religion. Like, or let me say this. I think that's a religious view to hold. To dream about something, but don't want to connect to it, don't want no relationships, or not even don't have. To dream about something, wish for, pray for, but don't have real physical, tangible relationships, networking with people. That's a religion, because people know that if they try to go reach out to any one of those countries or groups within the countries and pour out your heart, I see us as the same. People know the sad reality is going to check in.
I don't want to do a love thing. I want to do some business. I want to think.
No, but even that,
I think we could really.
I'm saying that. But you know how? No, but Africa can't connect with Africa. Are you familiar with ECOWAS?
I think when we get there, yeah, I just think our love, and because of who we've been here in America, what we've been through, forged in certain fires, they haven't gone through that. They haven't experienced the Black American life and who we really are, and they haven't really seen the best of us. I really
guess what?
Change so much stuff.
But they're not. Hey, bro, but they're not. Listen, bro, they're not interested in that. Every time people say they go over there from America, Black America, they say that they're not. Tell me about the slave trade. Tell me about Jim Crow. Give me how much money you got. And that's everybody's
That's
experience.
right. That's right. And we should be about the money.
No.
Build them too. Let's do some business. I don't want to just come over here with some
But they're not saying that, my guy. You cut in. Now listen to what I'm saying. Yeah, I can play a video right now. That most people over there, they got the same story. Africans got their hand out. That's panhandling, my guys, begging.
They should.
They got that.
They're poor. They have nothing. I'm coming from everywhere.
The world is no, yeah, but you don't have everything. You don't have what you have. You work hard for it. Yeah. At this point, I thought he was a tether. Tom's playing tether.
Yeah, I don't want to just. I don't want to do a love thing. I want to do some business. I want to. I think.
No, but even that.
I think we could really.
I was saying that.
Much
But
better.
you know how? No, Africa can't connect with Africa. Are you familiar with ECOWAS?
I think when we get there, yeah, I just think our love and because of who we've been here in America, what we've been through, forged in certain fires, they haven't gone through that. They haven't experienced the Black American life and who we really are, and they haven't really seen the best of us. You know, I really
guess what?
Change so much stuff.
But they're not. Hey, bro, but they're not. Listen, bro, they're not interested in that. Every time people say they go over there from America, Black America, they say they're not. Yo, tell me about the slave trade. Tell me about Jim Crow. Give me how much money you got. And that's everybody's experience.
That's right. And we should be about the money. Yeah, I feel it.
No.
Build them too. Let's do some business. I want to just come over here with some love.
But they're not saying that, my guy. You cut in without listening to what I'm saying. Yeah, I can play a video right now. That most people go over there. They got the same story. Africans got their hand out. That's panhandling, my guys, begging.
They should. They should have their hand out. They should. They're poor. They have nothing. I'm coming from everybody.
The world is no, yeah, but you don't have everything. You don't have what you have. You work hard for it. Yeah, you can't feed the. Okay, so how do you determine who gets the dollar and who doesn't? Because they all over there with their hand out. Like, how if you got.
Yeah, they all get it. I mean, if I could give it to everyone, they all get a piece.
But they want it every day. As long as you're there, they got their hand. So when you give them something today,
we cut that in half. We do business. We're supposed to be opening up business.
But they don't want. Okay. This guy is you're not listening, my guy. They don't want business. They just got their hand out.
I got you.
They just want money. They don't want to work for you and your soulful restaurant. They don't want to detail cars.
Well, I don't want to interject or have them doing anything they don't want to do. What's their specialities? What are things that they like to do? What are the things that
Beg for money.
I think we can do better relationships.
Okay, then, brother, can you please lead the way? Because everybody who tried to, Akon, Michael Blackson, everybody who tried to, all of them got an unfinished product.
Well, I think we go over there with bad minds, bad mindsets.
We
worse.
Wait. All right. Hey, bro, listen, man. Can you tie your lineage to slavery? Can you?
Can I tie my lineage to slavery? Yeah. Yeah. My people were on the slave ship. My people were on that slave ship.
In United States, United States chattel slavery.
Yeah, my people come from the deep south, South Carolina, PG.
Okay. Bro. Like, you just said some retarded shit, bro. The people who go to Africa are not going there because they think Africans are low. They're going there because they think they think there's some hope in Africa. So that they're going there optimistically. And we were the people that was against our media propaganda machine that was depicting Africans with balls and nose. That was us. That was Malcolm X, that was Dr. King. That was us. Frederick Douglass, that was us saying, they're not. Booker T. Washington, Yo, no, we go over there. No, stop, bro. When we go to Africa, is it black and lead? Yo. You meant to hop on? You meant to hop on?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, what's going on, brother?
man, I'm a FBA and I grew up in Africa.
Okay.
We went over there to do business. They don't want to do business. All they doing is begging.
I knew it.
All they doing is begging.
Mm.
I mean, and the thing is that they beg till you don't have nothing left.
Damn.
And then when you can't give them nothing else, then they talk bad about you. They don't call me a brony to my face.
Wow.
They call me a white man to my face.
Wow.
They don't really like us over there. They just want us to, all they want to do is get what they can get out of us. That's it.
And what country was this?
I was in Ghana, and I was in Ghana. See, everybody going to Ghana now. They went, after 2018, 2019, and all of that.
Right.
I was in Ghana in the 80s.
Wow.
I lived in Togo, the next country over to the west. I meant to the east. I lived there as well. My mom was in Liberia. We had people, and it was a group of us. It wasn't just my family.
Right.
We had like overall we had about, I would have to say about 5,000 people over there from here in Liberia. Not from the America Liberian stuff. This is just us going there. We went over there to Liberia. Started in Liberia in '67. Is when my people went over there.
Was it like a Pan-African thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. And they don't want to, they don't want to do business and all of that. They just want to beg and beg and beg and beg. They don't even really want a job.
Damn.
You go, and then now, and see, they tell you return home and all of that, but they don't tell you that. Oh, they tell you, oh, you can come here, we'll give you land, and and all of that. They leasing you land, and they lease it to you for 99 years. It'd be like from 50 years to 99 years. So if you got the land and whatever you put on it, if you put a house on it or a business on it, after that lease is up, they come back and they take it back. They're not paying you out for what you built on it.
Mm.
So it's all a shell game. We can't go over there and own nothing. If we were brothers and we're their long lost relatives,
right.
When we come back, we shouldn't need a passport. We shouldn't need a visa.
Right.
You come over there, they make you pay for a visa. They make you pay $3,000 for a visa to even enter the country.
Wow. So at any point, because you come to this revelation, did the other Pan-Africans come to this revelation, or are they in denial?
A lot of us did come to the realization. That's why I'm so glad I took that dashiki and that kufi on. But some of us came to the realization. Others of us that was in the same group have not.
Damn. They just kissing ass.
See the reality of it.
So they just kissing ass, basically.
Yeah. I mean, they not over there. And see, here's another thing too. And this, I put this in the comments. All of these immigrants that talk reckless about us to us, we actually keep their countries running because of our tourism dollars when we go to their countries.
Wow.
So my thing is that say we stop going there since they want to talk reckless. We stop going, and then when they start feeling them financial hardships, then they start realizing, oh, my brother, yeah, okay, yeah.
Oh, so how about they return home? They want some money.
Yeah, exactly. And then I was just looking at another panel where this African talking about if they send him back before he go back, he gonna unalive some of us and all of that. Like, what we got to do with them saying
Right.
you black, that ain't got nothing to do with
Right.
us. Yeah, we didn't in TPS or in immigration, we didn't do none of that.
Yep.
You know, so why is it that your anger is? But see, what it is they want us to get out there and fight for them.
Right.
We're not fighting for them because they've been.
I was gonna say that. Yep. Yeah. The fact that we ain't fighting for them, like they feel like, all right, well, I'm a champ out on a whole bunch of FBAs because y'all ain't out there fighting for me to stay here illegally.
They don't realize that the type of big heart that we do have, like we may be like, you know what? Well, I'm sitting on the sidelines. Then when we might look at stuff and be like, oh man, they doing too much to them. Let's go help them out. That's the type of people we are.
Right.
But instead of being nice and all of that, they want to talk reckless. And when you talk reckless, okay, now it's firm. We not coming to help you.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. I'm gonna tell you, like this is myself speaking, only as a lone wolf. There's nothing that can happen to them. I'm gonna come out and be like, oh, stop. Listen, man, it is. I'm like, hey, man, you gotta work that out. Yeah, like there's no action where can get me out there fighting for them.
Yeah, I mean, because at this point and all of that, being that I've actually seen the other side, that I've been a Pan-African, I lived over there, and I know how it is.
That's crazy.
I'm not. It ain't nothing that's gonna get me to put on no cape and go cape for these people. I'm done. I'm retired.
Hmm?
I'm retired from that for good. They can forget that. You know, so I just be looking at, you know, and I don't know what dude was talking about. Like he just that sound like some doggone religion he was talking about.
Right, that's what I said. I said either like again, like he's probably people that's like you that went there with you, that's in denial, or it's possible he's just African himself.
Yeah, he is. He an African. He's not one of us because he don't have because I'm gonna tell you like this. Even those of us that are delusional about, you know, the Pan-African thing and all of that, there's still certain baseline things that we agree with, that we all agree with.
Right.
That we all see the same way. And our spirit is the same way on a lot of stuff. When people start talking like that, they usually got some kind of Caribbean background or some African background or some Latino background in them, some immigrant background from somewhere. But it ain't us. And that's the main difference between us. Because the whole thing is that they think that no matter what, we're supposed to come save. And that they think that we're supposed to come save them no matter what they say to us, do to us, we supposed to just put our cape on and come save them.
Yep.
And I mean that's just not reality. That's just not how the world works. You know, that's like me. You know, I see this dude 6'5", 280 pounds, you know, and then I go start hitting on him and all that. I mean, if I'm not hitting him hard enough, he may ignore me.
Right.
But hit him hard enough and he start responding to me, I can't be like, well, no, you can't do that. You did.
Right. Yeah, you can't do that. Yep.
That make no sense.
Yep. And sometimes this may happen too. They might not feel your punches, and you can never hit them hard enough, right? But at some point, they might get an epiphany, and it might dawn on them, he's only hitting me because he think I'm a punching bag. It don't hurt, but he really thinks I'm a punching bag. He don't really value, like he doesn't value my life as a FBA. So yeah, I gotta slap him down. I gotta slap him off. I'm not a punching bag. I gotta slap you off. Even though your punches are weak, and I don't feel nothing, but it's why you're doing it that's totally disrespectful, and I gotta get you off.
You know, but see, people try to look at us like we're bullies and all of that. Like, in our business. I mean, how is it our fault that Trump ended TPS? Y'all came at us, but y'all were going at the people who actually ended it. Y'all won't go at them.
Nah.
But you coming at us.
Well, they'll pretend like.
I mean, and then, you know,
they'll pretend like we voted Trump in.
Yeah, they do that. They definitely do that. You know, be like, I mean, man, my thing is, I ain't never vote for him. But if I knew he was going to do this, I definitely would have.
Hell yeah! If I knew he was going to listen, so I might vote for a third term.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, I might.
Yeah, that's the thing that they not looking at. It's like not people you want to make enemies out of.
Right.
Wrong one.
But you know what? But they are finding out right in real time. And you see a lot of them. You see a lot of them online. I'm sorry, we were wrong. And we like, oh no, that's too late. Because you should never done it.
Yeah, it's like it's too late now.
Yeah. You should have never done it. All right.
That be they knee-jerk reaction.
All right.
All right.
So yeah, I appreciate you, brother. Call in anytime you want. I'm gonna finish playing the video, then we're gonna log off. All right. Definitely a pleasure speaking with you. Like I said, call in anytime. Call in anytime.
The black bourgeoisie or black elite.
Everybody, the average black American, we're far more educated than most people about Africa, right? At that time. We knew damn well that white folks were lying. These are the same oppressors who depicted us as monkeys and savages too. My guy, something called scientific racism over here, bro. We don't just magically believe white. We always, bro, we die now because we don't go to fucking hospitals based on what they did. We trust white folks the less than anybody on this fucking earth. We ain't going there believing white people about Africa. What are you talking about? That's why I asked you foundational. Yo, the shit we do now, all the research now, we still question. The white man said it. Okay, now I'm good. Media, a white man said it. Like even now, even with the guy, with the white guy and the black over. Yo, we always been the people don't fuck with us. That's why we came up with our own shit, our own religions and all that bullshit. We don't trust white folks at all. We didn't go to Africa like, yo, the white man, he's right about it. The hell no. The shit he said about us, well, we be questioning, man, we don't go to school now. Cause we don't rock with white people like that, which is bad because information ain't color-based. But the point is, like, we can point that information to a particular people in our eyes, our history. We got a whole different worldview of white people than Africans do, and the Caribbean and Haiti. They view white people as saviors, people who can get shit done and provide roads and loans and shit like that. We don't get no loans in Black America. We don't get no help. We don't get no rice. Now, we got a whole different worldview of white people. That's why when white folks remotely be aggressive with us, we go all out trying to fight for our life. Africans don't do that shit. They get aggressive. What's going on here? They trying to find out what's the problem. Nah, bro, you got that. Like I said, it's a religion to some people where like they dream and wish Black Americans view Africans or anybody as less than by white media standards. If we view Africans a certain way, it's gonna be because we view them like that from our standards. Ain't gonna be no white America media. They over here disrespecting, got us as just the worst depictions ever in media. Papers all day long, but we trust them now when they talk about other folks in the world. Hell out of here. You definitely made that up. Hey, 227, you there? Yeah. Okay, what's up, man? What you want to add to this conversation? Well, all right. So as y'all can see, thank you for the brother who called in. As y'all can see, this topic of black This is my specialty. I'm an expert. Do not try this at home without carefully looking over my videos. When you hear people challenging the black status or foreigners, they most likely tuned in over here. But there's some folks that didn't. But you can definitely tell who did and didn't by the breakdown on why these folks ain't black. I go with history, I go with application of words, and y'all ain't hear nothing. Matter of fact, I'm gonna cook one more again. Cause y'all ain't hear nothing yet. You dig? Hold on. I got 11 minutes. You know how I do. I start playing pool again. So I'm at my FBA friend house, got a pool table in the garage. So hope you'll look out the window and see me like, yo, come in. Anyway, yeah, I mean, so I'm going deeper. You dig? Deep down inside me, deeper, deeper, deeper. All right, I'm gonna still work on that song. I'm gonna work on that song. Yeah, I got two songs I want to do. One is way more easier. Talk to me. I'm trying to think of some words. I don't want to say tethered. Keep on walking. I ain't talking to you anymore. You can just go. That's a song. CC Peniston. Because I feel like the song, like music kind of fly. So I'm like, if it ever blows up, see this is how I'm thinking in the future. Like, cause that's why if y'all know my music, the earlier songs I was wilding out. I was crashing out. Tether this, tether that. Then the latest, like the last five, y'all didn't realize, even the one that says they not like us, they not like, I didn't tell you who not like us. You dig? That's like tongue in cheek. That's for those who know. You dig? So I start to like make it more codified, where it's so obvious. This could blow up. You never know how things work today. I remember one of my channels got deleted, but IBM could tell you. I uploaded videos on this channel, family. I came back like 3-4 years later, like a channel I just uploaded, like I uploaded some like, you know, Sister Soldier, Dr. Jewel, Puka Room. I had, you know, Dr. Joyce. What's her name? Dr. Post-traumatic syndrome, slave syndrome. Had her on there. Joyce DeGrew Leary. Here you go. I had her on there. I had a couple people on there. You feel me? And yo, I swear, I came back like 3 years later, 7 million on a video. Sister Soldier had 350,000 family. Again, this is 18 years ago, 19 years ago, 20 years ago. But what I'm saying is when I check back on the video 2-3 years later, cause I like kind of left it vacant. I start doing Unbiased Ron. At that time, it was Unbiased Sports. I thought I was focused on that, and I left the other thing alone. That's what I'm trying to say, family. My activism is like at least 20 years on YouTube. At least 20 years. So I went back like 2-3 years later look at those videos. I think I was trying to like play it, like play with my videos. And man, one was like 7 million, one was 2 million. This is way before monetization, by the way, obviously. I'm like, it did 350,000. Like all my videos went viral. I'm like, oh snap. You know what I mean? But I couldn't make one dime, nothing off it. So with the music, it's the same thing. I could make a dope song. They got the word tether in there or something in there, and folks will flag it. No, he said tether. Look it up on the line. That's disrespectful. Blah, 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 blah. They gaslight the definition, make it apply to everybody, and then next you know, they're taking the song down. You dig? Like a boom bye bye. You know, and that song is banned. I'm like, yeah, let me not, because I already went viral. Some videos made the millions. A lot of folks can't say that. Like I said, 7 million, 3 million, like 800,000. This Sister Soldier, 200,000, whatever. But anyway, real fast. So listen, Western European colonial societies, right? They had developed a this is all facts, continental. Why does this keep popping up? Western European colonial societies developed a transcontinental classificatory system that increasingly grouped very different dark-skinned peoples together. Okay, one more time. Western European colonial societies developed a transcontinental, that means more than one, classificatory system that increasingly grouped very different dark-skinned peoples all across the world together primarily on the basis of perceived physical ancestry and color. Y'all look alike. You dig? So you are the same type. So so there we go. So I'm talking about people looking at color versus constructing a racial class system. They looked at your skin color first and then came to class system. Matter of fact, I'm gonna wait on this one. This is gonna be done in the morning. Cause already they looking at me. They're like, I ain't getting out. All right, there's kids and them looking at me. All right, look. Well, tap in AM, 5 a.m. I got you. All right. I'm gonna go into this 5 a.m. tomorrow. TikTokers, you wanna listen? 5 a.m. I'll be live from 5 a.m. to about 6 a.m., maybe an hour. But I probably won't read this until about, so you got time. I won't do this until about 6 a.m. Now, this is my work, by the way. This is all me. This is my stuff. This ain't somebody website. It's my stuff. Okay, so that means never heard before until you hear from me. It's the first time I be heard. I be cooking, yo. I be seeing stuff. That's what I'm trying to say. I ain't no puppet over here. I ain't no echo chamber. My research is my research, and it's impeccable. Like, people don't have things better. I'm over here distinguishing how black was applied, how Negro was applied, the difference between racial classification from color descriptors, from ethnicity black, nationality black. I'm doing this. I'm cooking. I'm showing you across the world how black was applied to people in different languages. It was never simply because they're dark skin. You'll find out tomorrow. Deep, superb research. You dig? Debo Ron, checking out. Peace. Don't forget, the only black people, the real black people, the only people are foundational black Americans, native black Americans. There are no black Haitian, black Jamaican, black Nigerian. That's all fake made up stuff. Doesn't exist. You made it up. You're not black. You're Jamaican, Nigerian, Haitian. That's what you are. Be proud of it. Peace. YouTube, saying y'all already know the dealing. The TikTok is, I'm loving the fact that the OG's popping up, showing love. You dig? So we're gonna be lit on TikTok. You see on TikTok is it. A lot of older people trying to get over there. Yeah, man. So Facebook we lit, TikTok we lit, and then we don't need thousands of people to tune in. You dig? When y'all can come in, that's great. If you gotta leave, that's great. The simple fact you showed up and liked the video is enough respect. You dig? The video straight leave. I hope you would stay, but if you like the video and leave, I understand. Peace, peace, peace. B1. You dig? Look at my community post where I got the thorn crown, and you see my little finger. That's the B1